Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm honestly not quite sure what Call of Duty is doing right now because it seems like as of late they've made some changes in game, changes that players have picked up on very quickly because it's impacting a large variety of players. And yet Call of Duty has not said anything about this new issue, this new change that's arisen, and it's kind of just left everyone to say, is this intentional? Is this a bug? That's kind of the notorious game of Call of Duty right now. Bug or feature, who knows? But I wanted to talk about this more because it's just getting more and more traction. Meanwhile, we're still not seeing any sort of response or public announcement of any kind from Call of Duty, which is unfortunate because we're kind of just, in a gray area here where we don't know what's going on. And what we're talking about is the update to chat bans or the communication system bans that have seemingly been changed or adjusted post season 4 Reloaded. Now, I actually talked about this a couple of days back initially, just briefly, giving it an overview saying, hey, they've updated the chat ban system. Like, it's weird that they've made changes to it now where you can't hear players in your party. They haven't said anything about it. It could be a bug. We're not just really sure what's going on, right? And since then, like I said at the start of the video, this issue has only gotten more and more and more attention. I've gotten comments on this every single day on every single video I post saying, what's going on at the chat bans? What's up with this? And, now other creators are also posting about this as well. JGod posted on Twitter the other day saying, not sure if something changed, but a bunch of people in the comments on YouTube are saying they got chat banned in Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, and it now locks them out of being able to chat with their party as well. Anyone have any clarification on this? I responded saying, I'm getting a ton of these comments right now. It seems like Season 4 Reloaded did something to this. So if you're unaware, chat bans are pretty frequent in Call of Duty right now, and I'm going to touch on why that is in just a moment because there is a lot of misinformation with that. But what changed recently is that with chat bans, previously it was just that you couldn't hear other players in game, right? Like if you got communication bans, you weren't able to use text chat. It would sometimes say chat is disabled. That also just randomly pops up when you're not chat banned though, like it's a weird bug. Anyway, I digress. With that though, you just weren't able to use death chat or talk with randoms or whatever if you were chat banned, right? Now though, if you party up with a squad that you're friends with, say you're jumping into some quads or you're jumping into some multiplayer with your friends that you actively play with, and you are in an in-game party, before this, even if you were chat banned, you could still talk to your actual teammates and your friends you're playing with in game. Now though, post Season 4 Reloaded, for whatever reason, you're not able to do so. So with this, you're now not able to chat with anyone in game if you are communication banned or you're chat banned. Even if you're partying up with your own squad, you'd have to go over and use something like Discord or TeamSpeak if you want to have any communication with them. And what's weird is that you actually can hear each other for a very brief period of time in a pre-game lobby, but then once the game actually starts, then you can't anymore. And that's what's really weird because that would almost seem like maybe it's a bug. But the fact that this has been ongoing since Season 4 Reloaded, and as I mentioned, it's been talked about and talked about and talked about by so many people on social media, creators and just general players alike, and there's been zero response, leads me to believe maybe it's intended and they just haven't communicated that. Now, here's the thing, as I alluded to a few moments ago, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of clickbait or just wrong assumptions, I guess, when it comes to chat bans themselves. If you're unaware, there is a certain monitoring system that is in place in Call of Duty. It was introduced earlier on this year, and it's AI driven so that they do monitor what's being said in game as a part of their terms of service. When you jump onto the game, you have to sign the terms of service agreement that says, I'm going to adhere to these rules. There are obviously rules that you agree to, whether it be cheating, but clearly they don't actually enforce that all that much because there's cheaters galore, and Ricochet doesn't do much about that. You're not allowed to be, openly spreading hate speech and stuff like that. Like, it's pretty common sense stuff. Hey, you're not allowed to say that. Clearly there are going to be consequences if you're saying stupid things. And that's largely what that intent is. And that's why the AI thing exists. If you're saying things that are openly hateful in really inappropriate ways, it's going to flag those and send those over to their moderation team. Something I see a lot of people confused with is that the AI is instantly banning players. And unless they've changed something in the back end and not disclosed it whatsoever, which I feel like they would be really shady if they did that, when this system was first introduced, they made it explicitly clear The AI does not ban players, it will monitor, and if it flags something, it is sent over to our enforcement team, and then all the bans issued are manual. They review it and say, okay, the AI was correct, this person said something they should not have, comm banned, or oh, it accidentally flagged something that clearly was not, wrong whatsoever. That person's fine, they're not under review or anything. The AI does not issue bans, those are manual. Like I said, that's how it was explained, and unless they went through and they updated something or changed something and specifically hid that they changed it, that's how it is right now as well. I also see a lot of misinformation about how chat bans are because you're cursing or because you're trash talking in game. And that's also not a thing. Let's keep in mind, this is an M-rated game. There is plenty of, crazy things that we see in the game. I mean, it's a game about just non-stop gunfights and everything. The operators swear, the operators curse, that is part of the game. I promise you, unless you're saying incredibly outrageous stuff that's not appropriate to begin with, it's not going to auto-detect you on things, and the enforcement team probably is not hitting you with a chat ban for saying those things. Same deal with trash talk. This is a competitive game, obviously, where skill-based matchmaking is through the roof. There's going to be competition, there's going to be heated emotions, you're going to trash talk, oh, you just got stomped, or I oftentimes will also talk trash in voice chat. The team is talking all this, they're yapping all that, and you take them out, you're gonna be like, oh, what happened, man? I thought your shots were on point. Maybe you want to go back to the firing range. Some, like, the trash talk is natural with that. And you can do that in a sense that's appropriate, right? You don't have to go over the top like some of the COD community will naturally, but you're also not getting banned for that either. The problem is, though, is that people assume that because they said something in voice chat, they were swearing at an enemy, or they talked a bunch of trash to an enemy, and then they got comm banned shortly thereafter, it's because of what they said that the AI picks it up and then that bans them. Not necessarily the case. The problem, and this now directly ties into this huge issue where it's locking you out of being able to communicate with your party even, is that chat bans are the default of spam reports. And I don't know why that is, but it's been like this for some time. And again, unless they've changed something drastically in the back end without saying anything, this is how it's been for some time. If you get spam reported enough, so let's say you wipe a squad, they don't like you for whatever reason, you were talking trash and they're angry about it and they're sore losers, and they go in and they report you for offensive language or for exploiting or cheating. Then it hits you with a comm ban after enough reports go through. And let's say a squad all reports one player simultaneously. The system might be like, oh, a bunch of people just reported this. Let's check on this. And then it gets flagged into a comm ban, or it defaults to a comm ban if that account's had several reports to it. It's not a good system because it does constantly false flag accounts that don't deserve to be comm banned. It's just salty players being salty that they got trashed on, and then they go through and they spam report. And that system has been flawed like that for a long, long time. The problem now, though, is that these comm bans and these chat bans are more severe than ever with this new change that limits you from talking entirely even to your party. So you now have a system that is more severe with its punishments than ever before, with no communication of updates to said punishments. Ricochet doesn't really communicate that much in general. It has not said anything about this in specific, so we're left to question, is this intended? Is this not intended? And then why is it still so easy to be chat banned for not actually doing anything against the TOS or anything against the rules? It's just a consequence of a very bad spam report system auto flagging things when it shouldn't be. And this is where the issue of transparency comes into play. Call of Duty has not been very transparent about any of these systems outside of when it first launched, and they said, hey, the AI doesn't ban, it just detects, and then it sends it over to our enforcement team who does manual bans. That's about as transparent as it's been, and that was a long time ago. Like I said, if things have been updated, if things have changed, they haven't said jack squat about it. So we're just left to guess. We're left to question and assume, and a lot of these assumptions can be wrong. So I don't know what Call of Duty is doing with these updates. It's not productive, clearly, because it's just making people more and more angry at the game because we don't have answers for why this stuff is happening. So one, there needs to be transparency. There needs to be communication in regards to these changes. Two, we probably should be looking into this spam report system that is clearly unfairly, chat banning, comm banning players who are not doing anything wrong. And it has been for well over a year now. This is a problem back in Warzone 2 as well. It's just heightened now because it's gotten even more severe punishments. So really rough system in play right now that unfortunately we just don't know that many confirmations about how it's working or why things changed. But I wanted to shine more light on this issue. You guys have been asking, hey, can you talk about this a little bit more? Want to make sure we can use this platform for the better, for a positive impact on the game, and hopefully get some answers as to why things are working as they are. But that said, that's going to wrap things up for this video. If you want to help share it around, get more attention on it, ideally get the right eyes on this video, do me a favor, drop a like. It does really help, get more eyes on the video itself. And if you are new to the channel, you want to guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. I got you covered on a daily basis. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.